So this video is more of a review. See, you have your hand that you do not write with is your backdrop, and the hand that you write with, your dominant hand, so it's R, and it's just here for review. We go backwards to review, right? It's like a clock in a sense. So think of it that way. That is, you have that attachment to your clock, and then you go back in time to review. So this is to review an exam or to review anything, to think about that, to review. So anyway, so we've had several things happen, but it was so cold that we were home from work. So anyway, so the first review sign is MLK. So remember we did M. Remember my ring finger does weird stuff when I try to do an M. But anyway, it's MLK Day. And many people went to a parade. But if it was snowing, like in the South, and it was not a normal thing, and then we stayed home, right? So, and also the second thing was an inauguration for the new president. So we have our right hand up and our left hand down like it's on the Bible. So this is inauguration. So Inauguration Day, we had that for the new president. There's a couple signs for Trump. I usually just spell it because it's a short name, Trump, and then some people will do because of his hair. Can you see, do his hair? I don't do that. To me, it's harder to remember to do that with his hair, so I usually just spell it. So that's how I do President Trump. And then we had this really awful, so we can say extreme, awful because it was extreme, right? So what does extreme mean? In this case, it was really a bad snowstorm, or it affected so many people. So you could say it affected so many states that most of the time do not get that weather. So it snowed, and then it was just cold, and I think it started, like if you look at your map, think about it in like the northwest, and so it just kind of moved down to all the southern states. So this is how I do the southern states, because I do the shape of the United States at the bottom with an S for southern, and I usually start like where Texas is and then go out to Florida, because New Mexico, Arizona, and California are not considered the South, but and Texas is a country all its own, but it's still considered the South, and it's just on its own because it's by itself. So, but with the cold, and it's a cold front, you could do cold front. I'm sure many deaf people would do that. That's very English, and it's like, what's a cold front? It's like cold, and then you would say, right? It just went this whole swath of the United States, starting I think from the Northwest and going this way. I didn't watch a lot of weather. And then you could say, oh, it was just, you just really with your body and your face. It was so very cold. It was extremely cold. It was super cold. It was freezing. You could say it was cold. It was freezing, or freezing below. Wow, the temperature, -17 or whatever. Or, but in the South, it was more like 17, 18, and 28. So all those different numbers that we have reviewed before, so you can practice those numbers. So what do people do with this extreme cold? So you could, ooh, it was cold, it was freezing, it was so cold, right? And that's how you would, we have these adjectives that we say, or you could say awful cold. But in sign language, it's your body and your face and how you do the sign that's the adjective. And so that's what we have to really ponder on, that is like, how would you do that? Oh, it's freezing. I didn't want to get out. It was freezing. But it snowed and it was pretty. It made a snowman, right? Or you had a snowball fight. You don't have to say fight. You could, but it's more fun to say get your balls and then you throw them, right? That's always fun. Or you can make you know, a snow angel. So, and I put the sound effects in there because it's easier to make the sign if you make the sound effect when you're, especially when you're learning. And so now I don't make it out loud when I'm interpreting. It's just in my head, but it still helps, and it's more fun. And so you can say, oh well, you know, make sure that your water, you know, you turn it on. You can turn it on. You can turn it on. However you turn on your water, right? Turn it on. However you turn on your water. So your water, turn it on, drip, 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 drip. And also outside, your pipes, wrap them. And the reason I hold it is because I'm holding that pipe. So if it's a pipe this way, I'm going to hold it with the hand that I do not write with, my non-dominant hand, and then I'm going to wrap it with my right hand. So you need to make sure that they are wrapped, that your pipes, and you have to do your pipe first because you're going to wrap what? You don't say wrap your pipes. You would do your pipes first. You have to set it up what you're doing. Remember, topic and comment, right? So we don't have a time here, so that's first, obviously. But so we do our topic, which is our pipes, and then we're going to wrap it. You know, what about it? So that's how we do those sentences. And so that's the practicality. Also, people have their plants, and oh, they don't want them to die. So what do? They wrap, you know, so they get their plant, you know, and they wrap it. We had one that we saw that looked like a cat because it had like little ears on top because of the way the branches were. Anyway, it was just, you know, it was just cute. So you can, so you would have to have your plants, and you have to kind of, you could say cover them. Oh, you know, my you know, here's some smaller plants, my flowers or whatever. I need to cover. However you would cover that, it's more of a pantomime, right? Just like wrapping the pipes. How would you wrap those pipes? So you have a pipe that's this way, or a pipe that's this way, or a pipe that's this way, or whatever. Those are more pantomime because you're trying to show how you're doing it, and you're having to wrap it. But you're wrapping up, and you've got your scarf and your hat and your gloves, and you're going outside, and you have your plants, and you have to cover them, and you have your pipes, and you have to wrap them, and your water, you have to turn it on, and so it drips, and also outside. Yeah. You don't want them to break, so hopefully not breaking. And I would do, this is the sign for break. Remember, we've done like suspension, like I need a break. You wouldn't, but for pipes bursting, that would break. Oh, my pipes, they broke. Water. Oh no. So that's how you would show that. So, but so you would really do the sign for break. But like if I need a timeout, or have a break in the day, or I've got my 15-minute break or whatever, or you're going to a workshop and we're going to have a break. Some people still sign break. And you know what? It's okay. Even though this is more like something physically has broken, there's nothing wrong with it. I see people do that all the time. And, you know, as long as it's understood and they do it, what happens is where it's really wrong is if you do it and they don't, or they don't understand it, or you're just kind of doing your own thing because that's the only thing you can think of. But so that's why you would need more of like a spelling, like, oh, I need a break, and then they will show you. They'll say break or break or break to suspend. You suspend a little time, or to break in the day. You can see that like on your calendar. 8 to 12, and then you have your break, and then, whatever. So it's just a visual thing, and I like more visuals so I can see it. But it just helps you remember it more than anything. It's not necessarily that you're a visual learner, but it's helping to remember and to learn. Anyway, so those are, I hope everyone is okay, and they're not having to go out in the snow and the ice. This is frozen ice, and driving in it. I hope not. Anyway, Stay warm and practice and enjoy and have fun. I'll see you later. Bye.